Hi, what's up guys? So for today's video, I do want to do a video talking about Soft Cell's history, or just the band history for Soft Cell. It basically started with Mark Allman and Dave Ball. Both were into the same kind of music of throbbing gristle and basically the pre-industrial sound, with also the sound of using synthesizers and keyboards. So basically they wanted to make some music together. They basically met in college and just found their they found that they found out that they both loved the same kind of music. They made a band, Soft Cell. They did some small singles. Again, right here, Memorabilia, which is like a pre-techno music. They did small little singles, and then I think after, like, I think it's a record label or the producer, they told them that they have to make something a little more commercial, and if not, then they would be dropped by their label, which would then have them make the cover to Tainted Love, which is an old soul song by Gloria Jones. And Mark Allman loved the song, and he also wanted to do a cover on it because with those lyrics, he also felt those lyrics during the time of him making music. But after them making the song and appearing on Top of the Pops, they wanted to do a single with it and have a B-side. So they made Where Did Our Love Go? And those two songs blew up in the UK and eventually got them to their popularity, and soon after would also come to America of them blowing up. After the single, they wanted to make a whole album for the single, which is Non-Stop Erotic Cabaret, which I have over here. It has songs that deal with, I would say, which the album has songs that deal with adult issues or young adult youth in the album. And I would say it's completely interesting and different than what stuff that came out in the early 80s. And it would take some time for a few years till like other artists or other bands would do or copy the similar stuff they've been doing. But what I do like about Soft Cell is that with Non-Stop Erotic Cabaret and their other albums after, is they've tried to do different musics on different genres, whether that be EDM, techno, dark wave, new wave, pop. They always try to do something new and something interesting that not much bands would do. And they would work on like an album or two until they both didn't feel like doing anything and took a break. And I think during this time, Mark Allman and I think other people formed Mark and the Mambas, which I think is really good. My favorite band, and my favorite vocals of Mark Allman in it, and my favorite tracks on there is really good. Like my favorite track is Black Heart.
Okay, so I wanted to do some history to Soft Cell and a little bit after Soft Cell. Well, after Soft Cell, blew up in the 1983, Mark Allman wanted to work on other projects or with other bands, but he knew people in the avant-garde scene in Europe, with bands like Fetus and Psychic TV. Um, and I'm guessing that he sees some of these members and is like, let's make a band together, would become Mark and the Mambas. So in 1983, at the end of 1983, Mark Allman and his friends, they made Mark and the Mambas, which is, I would say, the themes to the music is similar to Soft Cell's music. I would say more experimental and more interesting compared to the poppy new wave type of sound that Soft Cell had. But with Mark and the Mambas, it's more piano, drums, and experimental stuff. But when it comes to lyrics and the meaning, it is very similar to Soft Cell. I would say the meanings are a little bit more deeper, similar tone where it's about young and adulthood, dealing with substance abuse, uh, emotional stuff, and relationship. I would say the category for Mark and the Mamba's music is like a little bit of new wave, a category that I think I would say is Mark and the Mamas is dark cabaret and some gothic.
And then I think after in like the 90s, they done some albums, but they didn't chart it a lot further up in the in the UK, but it did pretty well. Like I think their music. And I think they still do music to this day, which is good. And I do enjoy their music, whether it's the old stuff or the new stuff. But I do think they are a band that people should look more into. Also to note, during when Tainted Love came out, people thought that the song was about Mark Allman trying to like slowly come out that he's gay or something. Because Mark Allman is gay, and it took him till I think the 90s for him to come out. But people thought it was like a hint at that, oh, he was gay. Um, but yeah, it just took a long time for him to actually say he's gay because of the whole, I think, AIDS epidemic. But yeah, overall, this Soft Cell is one of my favorite bands. I love them so much, and I do want to go see them live, but it's just kind of hard because whenever they do a concert, I really like I'm doing something when they're around me. But yeah, I think one day I would like to see them live whenever I can. Yeah, whenever I can, and I do recommend Soft Cell if you're into, I would say, experimental new wave, industrial, and like along the lines around that. And if you're also into pop 80s music, or just pop 80s 90s new wave. But yeah, I hope you guys like this video. I want to do more history like videos soon. But I think eventually I'll do them, but just not other bands yet. I would like to do The Cure, but that's kind of done. But maybe I'll do different versions of The Cure's discography, or different histories on each side of The Cure. But yeah, hope you guys like this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, bye guys.